So today I'm getting wheels prepped. Wheels, okay, so drums prepped so that the rims will fit on, so that when my tires come in we'll actually have wheels. I use my terminology pretty loosely. These guys, this is a different kind of drum than what I'm used to. So these are like centering bolts or connecting bolts here holding the drum on. It also had one of these annoying little centering pins. This has been the problem child that I've had so far, where these screw in, and I didn't understand why they were even there, so I'm gonna have to do this two hands to actually pull this hub off here. So hold on one second. All right. So you can kind of see this is a little different situation here for me to deal with. But anyway, I'm not really sure how necessary those are. The wheel will fit over the hub, or the rim will fit over the hub. These are centering lugs. So when you tighten them up, they will be centered in. I suppose if you were using flat lugs or something like that, then maybe you would want these little centering ones here as well. But I'm not really sure to what much benefit they have. At least they weren't the nubs sticking off of the hubs like on the fronts there, because those had to be ground off. Well, anyway, the new rims won't go on with those two bolt heads sticking off of there, or that pin. They're totally in the way, so those just have to come off and go away. These brakes have been redone. That was part of the work that got done previously, so there's new hardware and new springs on there, possibly new master cylinders or redone master cylinders, wheel cylinders I should say, wheel cylinder. But anyway, there's some brake pad left on there too. The racks don't get used up too hard, so we're just going to put the hub right back on there and move on to the other side. This is the passenger rear. Let's move on to the driver rear and see what we got going on over there. Alright, here we are now on the driver rear. Same situation, two centering bolts here, or I mean, they do attach, they do screw the hub, I guess, to the rotor. And that guy's still got some squared sides. I should be able to get that one out okay. Alright, same deal. They've been sandblasted or repainted, or something's been done. Maybe new shoes riveted on. I can't tell exactly how they got the, if you can still buy whole new shoes for it, like that. But anyway, that looks pretty clean. That's all new hardware in there. So let's get this hub back on and check the driver left front. So here's the frustration of the front hubs here. As you can see, it's got this alignment pin. That pin does not have faces on it. I don't even know if it ever did. I can't tell if that screws back in to keep the wheel on like the rears do, or not. In addition, these guys right here are absolutely round, rivety type nubs. There's no face on there. There's no anything. I won't be able to get on that. I don't even know if I can get behind it. It may, those may twist on, or thread on. I really can't tell. But I'll try to get on with a set of vice grips on that pin to see if it'll actually screw out. That would be great. If they don't, then they're going to have to come off somehow. Now, we've ground the other side, those nubs off, but that may have been a mistake. I don't know. I don't know if those actually surely they don't screw anything on, but they're kind of perplexing me a little bit here. And there's not much talk in the manual about them. I probably would have to remove the dust cap, and they'd be more like my current GM car, where the whole rotor comes off as one unit after you take off your adjusting nuts and the cotter pin and the washers and, you know, all that jazz. So nonetheless, they've got to come off. So I'll work with them for a bit here, and let's see what happens. Oh, this cup is in here. This cap is in here really tight, so I'm gonna have to futz around with this for a while longer, just gently prying on the back side of it here. I've been around it a dozen times with a screwdriver blade, and it's kind of backed out. There's a nice gap behind there, but it was already there, so I don't even know if this is the right cap for it or not, but I'll get a wider, deeper pry bar and see if it'll start to loosen up. Well, it's starting to come with some gentle taps from the slide hammer, for crying out loud. Thanks, Dad. The timing could not have been better for borrowing this tool. Goodness gracious. We made it. I think what part of the problem was, if it's not going to show up that great probably in here, but right here at the tippy top you can see this washer was pinching that cup really hard right there in the top, and I can see a kind of a divot here in the side of this cup. It's actually, I don't know if it shows up very well in this light, but right there, I think it was bit in there. Anyway, moving on, let's see if we can get this drum rotor off here and see what's going on the back side of these nubs. I can't tell if these are rivets or just what they are. But if I don't have to grind them, I don't want to, or I just want to know what they are before I wind up making more work for myself potentially by trying to grind them off. If they're threaded, it sure would be great if I could get them out somehow. Well, confirmation that we're not going to unscrew those. Those are riveted on. Absolutely riveted on. So we're going to put this right back on. I'll take a look up here, inspect that spindle a little bit there. That didn't look too bad to me. But we're going to get that loaded back on there without taking everything apart too badly here. I'm not going to repack these bearings. I'm not going to do that type of work right now. I think we're all right. I'm going to go ahead and get this reassembled, and we will actually, probably while I have it off here and I can lay it flat on the ground, that's where I'm going to grind those nubs off. I just need to get some plastic wrap over the or foil and plastic wrap, because I don't want any metal grindings getting down inside there and messing up my bearings. Alright, outdoors so that the sparks can fly. And I've got a cutoff wheel on there with the awesome Bosch electric grinder. And I've got a thicker wheel there to the right, and that's what we do the grinding down with on them rivets. And it'll make short order of those things. And I went ahead and put the dust cap back on the top there. There's foil on the underside of there, so there won't be nothing getting into the bearings. So we'll work pretty clean here. Alright, very good. We're snugged back up and then backed off just a little bit. I could still move that washer a little bit around there. That was good. So it's I know it's a balancing act, but I saw some guy on the internet like the way he did it, where he would tighten them up pretty tight, and then if you could just to the point where this washer behind here would stop moving, and then back it off just a little bit there and set your cotter pin. So that's what I did. As you can see, I've got these ground off now flush, so that worked out well. And we'll get the dust cap back on there. The washer's a little more centered this time. Hopefully it'll go on without so much fuss. And yeah, I think we'll be ready, getting very close to getting quality tires on here. Not showing anything more than just the dust cap on there. It's a tight fitting dust cap still, but a little bit of taps with a screwdriver around the end, and not too hard. We'll be able to get it the next time for whenever we want to repack the bearings or do some front end surface. But it's all buttoned up here. Time to move on to more parts. So I've got a compression tester here on the radiator, and that's just to see if we're leaking anywhere, what we got going on. So it's a 7-pound system. I pumped it up to about 10, which is more than what it should normally operate at, but we'll just kind of watch it here for a while and see what happens. So at 10 pounds, I had a little bit of seepage, I think, coming around this bolt hole. I tightened that back up, and I let the pressure off the system, and down underneath there's just a little bit of a drip. And I think it's coming out of this. There's a pipe in here. It's bad. Hold on. I had to thread a pipe down in there. It's bad lighting, but I may just see if I can give that pipe a few twists, if I can get on it with a wrench. It's in kind of a bad spot, but we'll see if I can give it a few twists, and maybe it'll stop the little bit of drip that's coming out of there. Okay, now we've got her back. We've tightened up everything, including that one pipe, and I got several more turns of it. It was pipe threaded up there and there, so it probably just was being too ginger on the housing. I should have just cranked that pipe in harder when it was disassembled. But anyway, we're at 10 pounds and holding, and I've been kind of looking around here. I don't see any more drifts coming out from where I was seeing them before. So I'll watch it for a little bit longer here, and if not, I'm going to say that's a successful coolant compression test, and then we'll move on to something else.